What a waste of time that was. I just watched episode 1 of The Ultimate Fighter 31, McGregor versus Chandler, and that was terrible as an opening episode. Absolutely boring. Nothing interesting happened whatsoever until the fight at the end. Spoiler alert, Roosevelt Roberts wins by first round KO, and I said it would happen watching it live, because if you saw the prospect from America, whatever his name was, Brenneman or something like that, if you saw him on the pads in that very episode, he is terrible on the feet. Had no idea what he was doing in the striking, so the prospect was terrible. I saw the KO coming a mile away, but the show itself was an absolute waste of time. You want to know why? ESPN MMA on Instagram posted the full KO from Roosevelt Roberts as soon as it happened. Minutes after it happened live, ESPN MMA posted that moment and posted the fight itself. So there's no point in watching TUF, because all you're watching for is fighters crying about their fucking families non-stop. And maybe it's just a regular thing that everyone does on these types of shows, but for some reason, these absolute NPCs, the second they get in front of a camera, instead of saying anything interesting or having any personality whatsoever, they just cry about their family and talk about all the trauma they've been through. It's so predictable and boring. And the worst part about it was, there were more adverts than there was content. There was a moment, I'm not even exaggerating this, there was a moment, I believe during like the third or second ad break. I can't quite remember which one it was. There might have been 8 ad breaks as far as I remember. It was crazy. There was literally a moment where we had an ad break. We came back to learn about Roosevelt Roberts' backstory, and we had another ad break immediately afterwards. It literally went ad break, boring backstory, someone crying about their family, not being there with them, and they're so far away, I have kids, you know, and they're all crying about that, and an ad break again afterwards. There was nothing interesting about it. It was literally just like, oh God, more of this, finally a fight, 10 seconds long. Because Jenneman, can't even strike. It's such an outdated format, and I've just realized it now. Now, episode 2 seems quite interesting. There might be a moment where Islam Makhachev shows up, and that was something that they showed in the teasers for episode 2. But what they also showed for some teasers was Roosevelt Roberts going after someone who had won in the cage and offering to fight them. Obviously, that means in the next episode, Team McGregor wins the fight, because Roosevelt's Team Chandler, and he wouldn't be calling out someone who lost their fight. So they ruined the result of next weekend's show in the episode, in the post-credit scene, if you will. But they did show that Makhachev was in there. They showed like a post-bit footage of something, like some kind of trash talk, but I couldn't see it. Yeah, that's another thing. I can't even watch it live. It comes out in the UK 2 days after it comes out in the US, and I can't use a VPN to watch it on ESPN Plus, because you can't sign up to ESPN Plus with a VPN, but I can't even get to the website without a VPN, so I'm just stuck not being able to watch it on ESPN Plus, so I used a very legal link instead. Trust me, it was so legal, guys. I promise, it was so legal, it was like 2 minutes behind everyone else. Couldn't watch it on Fight Pass, because it was 15 minutes delayed. For some reason, I get it, they can't show it at the same time as ESPN. ESPN needs some type of bonus for being signed with the UFC, so their bonus is that they get to show it first. But their bonus is also to show the KO as soon as it happens on their Instagram and ruin the point of anyone else watching it anyway. So, just weirdness. What a boring episode that was. I'm almost considering not watching the other episodes. I probably will, because it looks like it could get a little bit more interesting. But McGregor was barely in it. He was showing some guy how to strike at one point, looking absolutely sniffed out of his brain. I'll be honest with you, at one point. Yeah, do that. Yeah, don't throw him like that, yeah. He was just so edgy and twitchy, and his face was sweating badly. He looks in good shape. He has a lot of weight in his face. Because in his shirt and when he's clothed and you can see his face, you're like, this guy's carrying extra body weight. but he's still a pretty shredded guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's not got excess belly fat or anything like that. He looked in good shape. He didn't even show up for the weigh-ins. It's just a lot of dead TV time and an excuse to put adverts in there. Maybe I'm just never going to be a fan of it. Maybe there were some older fans of MMA that really enjoyed this. But I said this when I was watching it live. Do you guys remember when TUF used to be? They come in the first episode and everyone fights everyone straight away. Remember when that used to be a thing? Episode 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, qualifying stages of The Ultimate Fighter. They come in, the two coaches, they watch it with Dana White, and all of the qualifying fights happen in episode 1. Back to back to back to back. Fight, 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 fight. Who's getting through, who's not. Every single moment of episode 1 before used to be amazing. This was no joke. McGregor and Chandler coming in and having that moment that we've all seen go viral before, and that they posted before as a teaser for the episode. Little did we know that was going to be the only interesting moment. Where McGregor said, "You'll do as you're told, yeah," and all that type of stuff. And then, backstory of Gentleman. "Oh, I've got a family and kids." Why are you crying about that? A lot of people have family and kids. What are you crying about right now? You've been gone a day. Stop crying. For the love of God. "Look, my dog's got 3 legs." That is quite sad. We don't need to know. I don't care if a fighter's dog has 3 legs. I don't care if they have a family or not. I really don't. I can guess. This guy might have a family. Maybe he mentions it in a passing moment. And then we get Roosevelt Roberts' backstory, which is kind of cool. Because we know him. He's been in the UFC. Got wheel kicked by Ignacio Bahamondes. But like, I don't need to see his whole backstory right now. You could do that. No joke. You could really accurately tell the interesting parts of the backstory of Roosevelt Roberts and Brenneman. What was his name? Jenneman. In about a minute of airtime on each episode. Minute of airtime, show them doing a couple sparring moments, and then just cut away from that for about a minute to tell a little bit of their backstory, what they're fighting for, who they're fighting for, why they started fighting, what gym they train at, what their dreams are. Boom. We're back on the episode for some more interesting moments, I hope. But no, we literally got, if that was a 45-minute episode or a 40-minute episode, we literally got, I'm not joking here, 7 minutes of McGregor, 4 minutes of McGregor content. He no-showed at the weigh-ins. The weigh-ins, for another few minutes. Gentleman not being able to strike on pads. We saw that. Little bit of Roosevelt Robert training footage. 25 minutes of backstory on the two of them that no one cares about. I definitely don't care about it. The weigh-ins, again, where nothing happened. I don't need to see the weigh-ins. I said this live as well when I was reacting to it live on my members stream. By the way, if you want to be a member, we're going to be reacting to these episodes live every Tuesday, but I don't even know if I should say that because I might not be, because it was boring. But we're probably going to be doing a TUF Tuesdays on the members stream, so sign up to be a part of that. I'm watching it live. I don't need to see the weigh-ins. There is so much of that episode that they could cut out. All it was adverts backstory. Adverts backstory of this fighter. Adverts again. Backstory. Oh, he's hitting pads. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, he's so bad at hitting pads. He's going to get knocked out by Roosevelt in round 1. Oh, Roosevelt KO'd him in round 1. What do you know? Didn't see that one coming. Just so silly. So absolutely silly. I don't get it. And McGregor didn't even show up to the weigh-in. And that was like 5 minutes of airtime, them doing the weigh-ins. We know how weigh-ins, it's just wasted time. I don't need to see the weigh-ins. If nothing bad happens and nothing crazy happens, I know what they're going to do. They're going to walk in, jump on the scale, get weighed in, and if they made it, everything's going to be fine. We don't need to see 5 minutes of airtime on the weigh-ins, sandwiched between 2 3-minute segments of adverts, either side of it, if they're just going to make weight. And if you are going to post the finishes every single time they happen on ESPN MMA, I won't bother watching because I'll just watch that. I'll watch the highlight of the KO at the end, and then I'll skip the 40-odd minutes of I miss my family. Fucking Americans. I don't even know if it's an American thing because some people in the UK do that as well, but I feel like every American show I watch, they're just crying and talking about how hard of a life they've had. We've all had it kind of rough in our own ways, and we all could pluck some stuff out that was a tough moment. We all have families. We know. Stop crying on TV the second a camera is put in your face. Be funny. Start some shit at the TUF house. The TUF house looks really cool, by the way. It does look cool. Say something funny. Be interesting. My hamster had a heart attack when I was 2 in front of me. You know, I don't care. I really don't care. At all. Yeah, my guinea pig escaped into our garden when I was 5 and I watched it get raped by a fox. I don't need to know. We don't need to know. At all. It's such a stupid thing that they keep doing this. And I hope that the other episodes are different. And I hope we get more than one fight in those other episodes. You know what I mean? First episode of TUF used to be, not even exaggerating, fight, non-stop fights. That's how you captivate an audience from episode 1. This was literally, start it off, McGregor and Chandler have their moment, introduce the contestants, McGregor and Chandler pick veterans or prospects, wait a little bit of time, see the house, what's going on here, go back, see all the lineup again, McGregor and Chandler pick their fighters. No more of that. Little bit of training. 25 minutes of backstory non-stop. And there was backstory even in between all the other bits I was saying at the start as well that we didn't need to hear about. And then all of a sudden, it's fight time. It's 35 minutes in. Oh, first round KO. And it's going to be posted on ESPN MMA anyway. McGregor no-shows the weigh-ins. What is the point? I guess I'll give some predictions on what I think is going to happen. By the looks of things, Roosevelt Roberts might win because all of the prospects don't look good. And I don't know where they found Jenneman as a prospect, but it seems like, and I said this during the live stream as well when I was watching it, it seems like TUF is an excuse to get an American fighter that is not good enough to be in the UFC to get into the UFC. It's so America biased from people who train in America or live in America. The best way to do TUF is to think that year, where are the 2 regions in the world that have the most talent right now? Let's do those 2 regions versus each other. Winners and whoever gets to the final gets signed. Even the loser of the final can get signed. I don't mind that. It doesn't have to be just one of them every time. Sign 2 of them. Maybe you get 1 from each region. Who knows? It's not like, oh, we ain't got no talent in America right now. Give Jenneman a chance. Let's give Jenneman a chance. You know what I'm saying? What even is his record? Nate Jenneman Tapology. Because he literally looked like he had no idea what he was doing on the feet. And his striking looked absolutely terrible. So he's 16-5. He's 30. And he is on a win streak, fair play. Who is letting this guy beat them on the regional scene? Who's letting this guy beat them on the regional scene? Oh, he got KO'd by Damon Jackson. Well, if you get KO'd by Damon Jackson, you don't get signed to the UFC, in my opinion. But fair enough. He is really bad on the feet and looked terrible on the feet in that episode. Sad moment, though. Really, really sad moment to see him come to terms with it and start crying afterwards. And I wanted to laugh, but I was like, damn, that's actually kind of sad because he can't tell his family whether or not how he did on the show. He can't tell his family or leak out to anyone who's asking how he did on the show. So he must have had a bunch of people once he left the house saying, did you win? How did it go? What round did you get to? And he must have been saying, you'll have to wait and see. I can't wait to see it, dude. Episode 1, flatlined in about 10 seconds. Dude, TV is such an outdated form of medium. Think about YouTube, man. You get all that good content, and there might be a couple of mid-roll ads. This video, how long is this video going to be? This video is probably going to be about 16, 17 minutes long. Maybe 16 and a half minutes. I might do 3 skippable ads throughout the video, before and after even as well. Maybe 3 or 4 skippable ads, maybe unskippable, but they're only 20 seconds. And you get the rest of it is what you want to see. But this is literally soy backstory of someone whining like a bitch because they have a family and they've been away from them for a fucking day. So they can't take it and they're having a breakdown already. My dog has 3 legs, by the way. Time to start crying in the kitchen of the TUF house. Record this. Weird. And then adverts. And then we're back. Oh, it's Dean Thomas and Rashad Evans. Oh, no, wait. We're off again. Never mind. Adverts again. Oh, we're back. Dean Thomas, Rashad Evans, the incredibly diverse ESPN panel. And then we just go through that mode. And then, oh, it's Roosevelt Roberts' backstory time. Ah, finally, the Roosevelt Roberts stuff is over. Can't wait to see what McGregor and Chandler get up to. Adverts again. Huh, okay, well, I guess I'll sit through these terrible adverts that don't get me to buy anything that they're advertising whatsoever, and never have, ever. I've never wanted to buy something from an advert, ever. But okay, we get through the adverts. What's next? We're still doing backstory on Brenneman. His name's Jenneman. Who cares? Still doing backstory on Jenneman. Okay, the backstory on Jenneman's over. Adverts again. Never mind. Oh well. Wonder if McGregor's doing good. Oh, look at McGregor teaching him how to throw a punch, because he can't. Even though he's 16-5 and on TUF. He can't strike at all. Roosevelt Roberts is going to KO him. Oh, ad break again. I mean, there's only 4 minutes left of the episode. I wonder if there's going to be a KO. They can't fit a whole fight in 4 minutes. 2 rounds that are 3 minutes each. They can't fit that in a 4 minute left of moment. There's 4 minutes left of the episode. I know there's going to be a KO because we haven't had the fight yet. At one point, I was like, are we going to see a fight? There's 4 minutes left and we ain't seen a fight yet. But this is why. It's just like, oh, dude. Make it interesting, man. Like, if you look at all the game shows these YouTubers come up with, they can do a little fighter game show on every episode where they do something physical that's a challenge. Or they like do some kind of like gambling game type of challenge where you got to choose the right option or every time money goes that you're earning at the end of it. You know what I mean? They should do some kind of fun party game type thing for the fighters every episode. Include McGregor and Chandler on that little party game show that they do every time of a physical feat or a mental challenge or just like a stress-related challenge on how they can deal under pressure of money being gone or something else going on, or, you know, if they have a fear, like some kind of like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here type stuff. Not to that level, obviously, but similar, right? Like something interesting on the show. But no, it's just soy backstory, crying around a house, a little bit of McGregor Chandler, and then nothing else. I'll try episode 2. But if I don't like it, I'm not watching it. See you later. Goodbye. Toodle pip.